So this is called natural logarithms. You see that log with the little base e right there? That is a natural log. Now why is it a natural log? Pause for a sec. Let's say I had, let's go with ln of 5 is equal to x. Now I might be thinking, but Mr. Server, that has two variables, e and x. And I would say you're wrong. Which one's actually a variable? X. E is a number. It's a number that's the same every single time. 2.718, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so my advice, whenever you see ln, you kind of do a little forgery and change it to log base e, because you need that e. Because then you can say a rewrite, e to the x equals 5. E to the x equals 5. And then they're saying take 2.718, put it to some number I don't know, and it will equal 5. All right, so you need that base. Now, I'll give you another one where, like, I bet you can solve it if you replace ln with log base e. All right, so let's say I had e to the ln 4. E to the power of ln 4. Trust me. What did I say to replace ln with? Log base e. Now do you get there's two bases? And boom, you know the answer is 4. Raise your hand if you knew the answer was 4. Okay? If you didn't, maybe we need to review some of those properties. If I say log base 2 of 1, you should be able to go, I know that answer. You won the argument. You get 0. Let's say I had, what if I had log base negative 2 of 1? What do you think the answer of 5 is equal to x? Now I might be thinking, you're shaking your head, what is that? That has two variables. There is no answer, and x. Can't do that, why? And I would say you're wrong. Base can't be negative. Which one's actually a variable? Next, so that's, you're right, no solution. E is a number. Next one, for that's the same blast from the past. What if I have log base 2 of x equals log base 2 my of advice, 7? Whenever you see ln, you kind of do a little forgery and change it to log base e, because you need that e. Then you can say a rewrite, e to the x equals 5. E to the x. Just running you through the basics of logs, so that when you see they're saying ln's, take 2.718 e's, put it to some number I don't know, you can do the same kind of stuff. It will equal 5. All right, what if I said log base 2, except there's a 5 in base. Now, I'll give you another one where, like, I bet you can solve it. Don't say the answer. If you replace figure it ln with log, write it down, turn it my way, so and let's say I like tell me, oh, I think the answer is 15 to the ln, circle it, turn it my way, and I'll tell you if you're right. Remember, this simplifies down to just one e to the power of ln 4. You've got it. Trust me. What did I say to replace ln with? 2 people have it so far. Log. If you're trying to simplify this, now do you get there's 2 bases, and boom, you know the answer is 4. Raise your hand if you knew the answer was 4. Okay. If you didn't, maybe we need to review some of those properties. If I say log base 2 of 1, you should be able to go, I know that answer. 5 people got it right. 6 people got it right. You won the argument. You get 7, 8, 9, 0. Next, 10. What if I had log base negative 2 of 1? What do you think the answer is? More than 10 of you. 11 people have it right. Some of you are shaking your head. What is that shaking your head 12 mean? People have it right. There is no answer? 13. Can't do that. Why? Can't end on an unlucky base number. Can't be negative. Somebody else hasn't done it yet. All right. Next, so that's 14, right. No 15, solution. 16. Okay, good. So next that one is really a 2 squared in the past. What if I have log base 2 of x, then it equals log base 2 of 7? The bases are the same. What do you know? And the answer's already there, and it's there. So then it's 2 times the 5 makes 10. Then these two have to be the same. Did any of you do it a different way, where you moved? Just running you through the basics of logs, so that when you see, does anybody remember what I'm talking about? Yes, where could that 5 move? Log base e's. That you can do the same this 5 could move. All right, what if I said here? Log base 2, except there's a 5. It's not super handy right this second, but as soon as I make this into a 2 squared, say the answer. Do you get? I can get the answer's 10. Figure it out. write it down, the number in the front. Turn it my way, and if you like tell me, oh, I think the answer's 15. I'll give you another example where that could be pretty handy. Turn it my way, and I'll tell you if you're right. 1/2 log. Remember, this simplifies down to just one number of, you've got it, x to the, let me think. 2 people have it so far. Hint, if you're trying to simplify this, start here. Which really means start there. 2. Yep. All right, one step at a time. 3 people have it so far. This little 1/2 here, 5 people got it right. Could move up to a power right there. 7, 8, 9. Do you get 2 times the half would make it equal to 1? I know there's more than 10. Pretty nice to not have it here. 11. And then this is just x to the 1, which is just x. So it's log base 3 of x equals to 13. And now it's a rewrite. I would say at least half the problems on the test and on today's homework. Yep. 14, you're going to get to this point, and if you don't know how to rewrite, so that one is really a 2 squared. So make sure you're good at rewriting. Why is 2 squared smarter? Because then it matches the what? Base. And the 2 is equal to same. Then the answer's already there, and it's there. So then it's 2 times the 5 makes 10. Now, did any of you do it a different way? Where you move. Sometimes you get an answer and it doesn't actually work. Anybody remember what I'm talking about? Did anybody in here already check the 9 to see if it actually worked? Yes, this 5 could move here because on the test, now I know that's not going to be times when you get an answer, but as soon as I make this into a 2 squared, I can get the answer on the ACT too. So I got this answer and I want to make sure it actually works. Go back to the original problem, and I'll give you another example. If I put a 9 right here, it's supposed 1/2 log base 3 2 times the 1/2. If I go back to the original, it looked like this. 1/2 to the, let me think, base 3 of x squared equaled 2. And if I want to put the 9 in, let's put it in here. 2. All right, so one step at a time. This part. This by 1/2 here. Multiplying both sides by 2. I could instead put this up to that power. That wouldn't be too dumb either. But I'm gonna multiply both sides times the half would make it equal. And then I get log base 3 of 9 squared. Have it here. 4. And then this. Let's make sure it actually is 1, which is just x. 9 squared is 81. Log base 3 of x log base 3 of 81. And now it's a rewrite. The same. I would say at least half the problems on the test. 4. And on today's homework, to the 4th, you're going to get to this point, and if you don't know how to rewrite, you're cooked. 4 equals 4. So cool. Make sure you're good at rewriting. I double-checked my 9, and it actually works. 3 to the what? Watch out, because sometimes you get an answer and it doesn't work. You're supposed to then cross it off and say extraneous. Okay. Now, so let's go a little further into the notes. One more warning. If I find this page, sometimes you get an answer and it doesn't actually work. If anybody in here already checked the 9 to see if it actually worked? Every time today. Because on the test, really are easy. What did I say? There's going to be times when you get an answer, it doesn't actually work. Log base E. Okay. And then, on the 2 bases that are the same. What's the answer? So I got this answer in 9. I want to make sure it actually works. Super easy. Back to the original problem. This one. And if I put a 9 right here, it's supposed to work. Replace ln with log base E 2 times the 1/2. Now, if I go back to the original, it looked like this. 1/2. What's the answer? Log base 3 of x squared equaled 2. And if I want to put the 9 in, let's put it in here. Move on to the next page. Oh, this is a redo of PERT. So I know why. Out this part because it has E in it. And guess what we're going to do when we're done? Both sides by 2. We're going to have a log base. I could instead put this up to that power. That wouldn't be too dumb either. But I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. P in this case, I get principal initial amount as in starting amount. And we're talking about population. So the starting population was 9 squared is 81. So the amount is 27,000. The same thing as log base 3 of times E, which is just a number on your calculator if you want, or 2.718, to the and it R. Worked, yay. 4 do I know 4. The R, the rate? Cool. Ooh, I do know the R. I double-checked my 9 and it actually works. The rate watch is out. 7% sometimes per year. You get an answer and it doesn't work. You're supposed to then cross it off and say extraneous. Times T for PERT. Okay, so
And T
let's
is
go
the
a little
time?
further into the notes then. If I find this page.
In the year 2020, and it was
If you
2012.
do the one
How
thing I
many years do we
started
have to
with
add to make that happen?
every time today.
This .07 gets times by 8.
These really are easy.
And this
What did I
is
say,
just a simple
replace
job
LN
for a
with?
calculator. Log base E.
Just make sure you don't go
And then,
27,000
two
times E
bases
and
that
then
are the
add to-
same. What's the
'cause
answer?
You'd be multiplying before you did
15.
the power, and that would be bad.
Super easy. How about this one? What was that one piece of advice? Replace ln with log base E. And now, wait a minute, I see the bases again.
All right, everybody, right now, type those numbers into
answer.
your calculator. 27,000 times E to the power of, and you're gonna.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you to compare it to the kid sitting next to you. These two
Move on to
rows.
the next
it's gonna be the person
page.
across from you.
Oh, this is
These
a
two rows,
redo
person across
of
from you.
PERT.
These two rows.
You know why?
Person across
Because
from
it has
you.
E in it.
Except some of you guys. Will
Guess
have to be
what
put
we're gonna
forward
do
back.
when we're done?
Okay.
We're gonna have a
See if you get the
log
same answer.
base E in the answer. So let's do this one. All right. P in this case is principal initial amount as in starting amount. And we're talking about population. So the starting population was 27,000. So the amount is 27,000 times E, which is just a number on your calculator if you want, or 2.718, to the R. Do I know the R, the rate? Ooh, I do know the R. The rate is 7% per year, 0.07, and then times T for PERT. And T is the time. In the year 2020, and it was 2012, how many years do we have to add to make that happen? So this 0.07 gets times by 8, and this is just a simple job for a calculator. Just make sure you don't go 27,000 times E and then hit enter, because you'd be multiplying before you did the power, and that would be bad. All right, everybody, right now, type those numbers into your calculator. 27,000 times E to the power of, and I'm gonna ask you to compare it to the kid sitting next to you. These two rows, it's gonna be the person across from you. These two rows, person across from you. These two rows, person across from you, except some of you guys will have to be per forward backwards back there. Okay, see if you get the same answer. So, Dice of Destiny, who should I call upon? Row 4, last person. That's you. Miss C. What'd you get? You multiplied it out. Yep, what'd you get?
47,268.
Can anybody verify that number? A lot of people are nodding yes. Okay, excellent. Now, did it use E? Wasn't there an E in the problem? Yes. Now, at some point, did you have to use a log to solve it? No. But let me show you where you would have. That's when you have to do this 50,000. We're going to put the 50,000 as the amount. 50,000, everybody write this out, equals 27,000 times E to the, this time, we don't know the time. We know the R, which is 0.07, but we don't know the time, so we have to put a T. So there's my equation. Now what's the first step? Do you add, subtract? There's nothing to add or subtract. So what do you think we should do? Divide by 27,000. Cancels. And then you take 50,000 divided by 27,000. RS, what did you get for that?
What?
The 50 divided by the 27, what'd you get?
1.85.
Thank you. E to the 0.07t. Now, right there, a lot of people would get stuck. Anytime you are getting stuck, go back to the thing that I said is going to happen 5 times on a test typically. The rewrite. If you're stuck, try a rewrite. Log base, what's the base of all those numbers? E, log base E.
And then you'll always go to the other side, 1.85. And then you'll always come back here. So it kind of does that circle of life thing. Dumps back and forth. Now, we're almost done. If I only knew what log base e of 1.85 is. You do not have a key called log base e. But what is it called? ln. On your calculator, it's called ln. Would you type in ln of 1.85? What did you get, sir? ln of 1.85. Anybody verify that? I've only seen 2 people nodding. I'm a little confused. Type ln. Just the L, there's an ln button. 1.85, hit enter. 0.62. Okay. And then that's equal to 0.07 t, and then divide by 0.07, and maybe we'll get that other number, but maybe not. Would you divide by 0.07, please? What'd you get?
8.7.
That's more like it. 8 point what?
79.
All right, so some other people typed it the same way you did because there was 2 kids that were nodding their head. Could just help me understand, what were you typing in the first place?
Put log in first.
Oh, you put in the log first and then you tried to like figure out how to make it a base E or something. Okay, I gotcha. All right. ln button does log base E. Okay. What is that, 8.79 chickens? No, that's time, so that would take 8 years. Actually, it's a lot more than 8 years. It's almost more like 9 years. All right. Yes, I use chickens a lot as my examples. All right, so I think you've learned everything you need to learn. It's time to get to your Schoology quiz. Now, I can't display that on my iPad, but I'm going to like write a couple of the first questions down on my iPad and show you how to do them. So get to the Schoology quiz. I'll pause while you do that. So this is our first question on the Schoology quiz. And what was my advice? Whenever you see ln, you put log base e. And then some people think that that e that was there was the base. It was not. That was the argument. So now it's log base e of e all over 4. So this gets replaced with a log base e. Now I hope it's obvious. What's the answer to log base e of e? 1 and 1 over 4. Since they have a theme of decimals, if you look at the next couple of problems, it says put in the decimal to 2 places. I think it'd be fine to say 1/4 is 0.25 or to type in 1/4. Either way is fine. All right. Could you read me question 2?
12 equals e to the power of 0.048x.
0 point what?
0.048x.
Awesome. What is the one strategy, other than replacing ln with log base e, what is the one strategy I said would be probably used 5 times on a typical homework or test? Rewrite. Time to rewrite. Could you tell me, please, what the one on the board there rewrites to?
Log base e of 12.
Equals, keep going,
Because
it goes like this.
0.048x.
0.048x. Perfect. But that's not the answer I can put in the calculator, right? So just tell me one more step and then I can put it all in the calculator.
Would you then just put in?
You want to get the x alone, hint.
Oh, okay. So then divide
Yes.
everything.
By.
0.048.
Okay. Now that can go in a calculator. What key will you press? ln. ln 12. Enter. Why? Because you want to get that done before you divide by 0.048. Joel, final answer on this one?
51.777.
And how many decimal places does the problem say to have? 2. So let's round it. 51 point.
Oh, it's just 51.77.
Are you? Does the next?
The final.
So you sure it doesn't round up? Is the third digit a 7? It's a 6.
7688.
Oh, okay. So 51.7688. So then if you are going to round to 2 decimal places, it would be 51.77. There we go. Okay. Now, there's one that's kind of weird.
let's do the 1, 2, skip a few. Everybody look at problem 6. Everybody look down to problem 6. Nobody likes that question. But I'll help you when it's not that bad. Could you show me problem 6? Can you zoom in on it? Is there a way to make that bigger? That's perfect, thank you. All right, so here we go. 3 over 2 ln x to the 6. Who's got an idea what we could do with that 3 over 2?
Take x to
Multiply that
6
by
Where are you going to move it to? To the power on the what? Yes, the argument spot. All right, the weirdest thing in this whole thing is this question mark. It's like, what do they mean by that? Well, let's simplify it down and see what we think. This 3 over 2 can move up here and be a 3 over 2 right there. I'm going to put the 6 over 1. I think you'd all agree 6 is the same as 6 over 1. And now it makes it easier to see what to get when you multiply them. Kind of turn your head diagonally a little bit, and it looks like 6 times 3 over 1 times 2. So that's 18 over 2. And what's that? 9. 18 divided by 2, which is 9. So that new power is ln of x to the 9th. Minus, do the same thing on this one. This power goes up there. Now, the key to this whole question is at the end, once you simplified it all the way down, it's going to look like this. ln of x to the 9th, it's not, this is not right, by the way. I want you to do it, is equal to ln of question mark. What they're trying to say is that is your answer. If they both have an ln on both sides, which they will if you do it right, then when it gets down to here, you should know since these are the same, this must equal this. The answer isn't x to the 9th. You have to figure out what the right answer is. But the answer has an x in it. Okay? Trickiest one. All right. You now know what ln's are. Log base e. E is approximately 2.718. It's on your calculator. It goes forever and never repeats. We talked about it on a different day when I told you about PERT. So I don't want to completely riff on what E is because we already talked about it then. It's useful with continuous compounding and it comes up in the natural real world. Okay, and that's all I have for you for today.